In this video I'm going to be restoring a number 47V Matchbox, ice cream van, first produced in 1963. I picked this one up in a job lot on eBay. So let's have a look at some of the damage I've got to deal with. The A-pillar on the front left here is pushed back, which has smashed the windscreen to pieces. There's a centre support here in the middle of the windscreen. That's broken at the bottom and sticking out. There's paint loss. I'm going to need to get some new stickers for the side and roof. And on the back here there's another centre brace that's been broken and will have to be replaced. Oh, and the sunroof is just totally destroyed, so I'm going to have to source a clear plastic part for this model. This particular model, the base is held on by a metal tab in a slot at the back here, which is great. It means I don't have to drill out any rivets or anything like that. All I have to do is get a flat bladed screwdriver and simply flex the body to remove the base, just like that. Now the interior should just drop out. Oops, there's a bit of Australia right there. Wonder what state that came from. Here's the insert, plastic insert with the man on it. That just pulls straight out quite easily. It's absolutely putrid, of course, never been cleaned, hasn't been cleaned for 50 years. But unusually this one's still got the ice cream. Considering the condition of this van, you'd have thought the ice cream would have been missing, because that's quite common with these models. Now to remove the windscreen, which is just absolutely useless to me. There's no way I can glue that back together. Excuse me whilst I jump on the internet and order a new windscreen for this van. Here's a close-up of the interior after I've washed it with some hot soapy water. I get a bit of a chuckle looking at this because it looks like the ice cream machine's exploded and the guy's standing knee deep in ice cream. Here's a shot of the base. I'm not going to take the wheels off this one today. I'm just going to paint strip it and repaint it black. But before that, I'm going to mask the wheels off with paper tape. So this is me putting on some paint stripper. Speed it up a bit for you. When all this paint's off, I'm going to undercoat it, paint it black, probably paint the tyres gloss black and shine the ends of the axles up with some emery paper. Next up, using paint stripper, I'm going to get all the paint and the old stickers off the body. Then I'm going to try and repair some of the damage. If you notice, I'm using long nose pliers to hold the model whilst I'm working on it. That way I don't get any paint stripper on my fingers. Time to give it a bath and wash off all the old paint and sticker residue. Sometimes a second application of paint stripper might be needed to remove stubborn paint spots that don't come off the first time round. These damaged pillars and metal braces are going to be repaired using super glue and baking powder. This is a repair method that I've been experimenting with recently. Here I have made a new A-pillar from the leg of a split pin, and I'm just temporarily gluing it in place with super glue. I've attempted to straighten the center brace on the front windscreen, but I think it's too fragile and I'm going to have to eventually replace it. Here I'm reinforcing the A-pillar using the superglue and baking powder combination. It forms a very strong bond, almost as strong as the metal itself. I liken it to chemical welding. It's a very simple method of repair actually. Just put the super glue on and heap baking soda or baking powder onto the super glue and it will set almost instantly, and then you just blow off the excess. Now that the pillar is fixed into position, I'm going to strengthen the join by repeating the process on the inside of the body. When finished, the joint can look quite unsightly, but it can be sanded down with emery paper or a Dremel tool. On the inside it's not such an issue, as when the model's back together it won't be seen. I've now created a new centre pillar for the front windscreen. The original was too distorted to be reused, so I cut a new one from the leg of a split pin. Here I've put some masking tape on the inside of the vehicle with the sticky side up to help me position the new pillar accurately. Same as before, I'm securing the front windscreen pillar into position, again using the super glue and baking soda. For the rear windscreen I'm going to use a different technique, where I'm going to build like a stalactite of super glue and baking soda from the bottom to the top, and then I'm going to file it into shape. After finishing filling up the gap, this is what it looks like. I'm sure you'll agree it is not a pretty sight. But this will soon change with a bit of filing and sanding. What I'm doing here is I'm using a medium rat tail file from my hobby file kit, and I'm just removing the excess filler, trying not to damage the original metal casting. Now I'm using a small square file to tidy up the corners of the windows. After a bit more sanding and hitting it with some wire wool to take off all the rough spots, this is what it looks like. Pretty good considering what it was like when I first got it. Here's a close-up of how the rear window finished up. When I was happy with it, I gave it a quick coat of white undercoat paint. This will really highlight any imperfections on the body that I might have missed. So far I'm happy with the results. Now I'm going to spray the top coat colour onto the model. I'm using water-based acrylic paints for a change. I find they're actually quite good. Today I'm going to give this model 2 coats. Because this model has a large window on it, you'll be able to see the inside of the shell. Because of this, I'm spending a fair amount of time making sure I get good coverage on the inside. Now all the bits are clean and painted, it's time to reassemble the model. First of all, the new windscreen goes in. Next in goes the interior. And finally the base. Engage the front end first, and then to get that tab in the slot at the back, again using the flat bladed screwdriver, prise the body apart slightly with thumb pressure and push the base in. That seems all pretty solid. So there's only one thing left to do, and that is put on some new transfers. Here's a new sticker set that I sourced online. First of all, I trim them to size and with scissors cut off the excess backing paper. Next, they're placed in lukewarm water. What will happen is the transfer will detach from the backing sheet so that it can be positioned on the model. Before doing this, it's always a good idea to wet the area where the sticker's going to go. That way it doesn't immediately stick, gives you time to accurately position it. So here I'm placing the sticker on the model, and I'm pulling the backing sheet away and allowing the sticker to stick. Slide it into position, and then with a soft brush, squeegee out all the excess moisture. Finish off with a cotton bud. Now, as you can see here, there's a slight crease in the transfer, so I'll just give that area a little bit of special attention. Very gently squeegee it out, rotating the cotton bud, not dragging it, because if you drag it you run the risk of tearing the transfer. Okay, that's one down, 2 to go. So now I'm just going to repeat the same procedure for the other 2 stickers on the side of the van. Right, that's all the transfers on and they look pretty good. Now let's have a look at what we started with. This model was probably one of the worst I've ever had to repair or restore. Had a lot of damage on it and some quite technically difficult things to fix. But I think you'll agree that I managed to pull it off. I thank you for watching the restoration of the Matchbox number 47B, the Comma ice cream van. See you next time.
Ah, you prick. Oh, shit.